I want to talk about like something I've been through in the last week, because I've had immense pain in the last week. My wisdom tooth down here decides to try and poke its way through, and I had to go and see an emergency dentist because the pain was so bad. The gum was swollen, and it was really like grounding. Like I wouldn't say it was a nice experience, but sometimes when we go too far spiritually, the physical world will come along and like hit you back down and say you need to come back to the physical. So this is kind of normal to experience this like physical pain every so often, and to be honest, I kind of enjoyed it because it grounded us to a point where I was just kind of enjoying being back in the physical, just dealing with the pain, taking painkillers. When the pain eased off a little bit, I felt this like enhanced appreciation for reality, that one step further. And that's how like the evolutional process works. Like we have to be knocked down in order to come back up. And every time you come back up after being knocked down, you appreciate the physical world that little bit more. That's why people who have like intense suffering throughout their life, who've had intense suffering throughout their life, kind of appreciate things more and enjoy the life more, which is what happened to me over the years. That's why I'm able to enjoy and savor every little aspect of life. Every single thing, even every thought that we do or think, has a karmic consequence and a law of compensation, as well as every other universal law that's all playing in conjunction with those. And it actually goes that far, guys. Like, this is not taught in school. This is not even taught in the spiritual communities because they don't know this stuff yet. Like, the spiritual teachers and so-called gurus don't know this stuff. And the reason they don't know it because they don't go out there and test it. I've been testing karma now for years, and I can tell you guys what I've learned is that karma comes back exactly to the same proportion as what you give out. So whatever you give out, you get back in exactly the same proportion. And it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to come back in the same way. It could come back a totally different way, but the same proportion will come back. And one of the main laws of this reality is whatever you give out, you get back. So although I'm picking stones up now and throwing them into the sea, I'm fully responsible for that. You see, I can make a decision. Okay, I know that's going to affect me at some point because it's something very minor, but most people are running around doing all this shady stuff, hurting people, gossiping about people, etc. But they don't understand these laws yet, you see, and they're going to have a lot of bad consequences because of that. And like I was talking about before, these consequences create pain. So the more pain that's going to come to them, which it will, the more they're going to appreciate reality, the elastic band effect. And then when they start to appreciate reality more, then they stop doing these things eventually. Like, some people don't even do it in this lifetime, but that's another story. But eventually everything they do is going to come back on them. So I learned this the hard way because I did a lot of shady stuff when I was younger, and eventually it all comes back to you. You've got to face it. You've got to forgive yourself for it as well. If you don't forgive yourself, then it creates another dynamic where in your consciousness you're not forgiving yourself. So that in itself has a karmic consequence, because it's not just linked to the physical world, it's linked to the mental reality as well. So you have to forgive yourself. You have to forgive others. You have to go back in your life and analyze every single little thing you've done, why you've done it, why they've done it. Forgive them for it, understand why they've done it, put yourself in their shoes, because you are them. Okay, that's another law. Everyone is you, looking at reality from a different angle. But that's for another video, guys. But But yeah, just remember that every little bit of suffering that you go through is happening for you, not to you. It's happening for you, and eventually it's going to propel into joy, pure joy. Most stupid things people do, it actually leads to the suffering of other people, and that's where you have to be careful. You have to become truly harmless. That's probably in my physical and spiritual evolution path that I've been on. That's one of the biggest lessons I've had to learn, how to become harmless. That's why I became a vegetarian. Now, I'm not saying everybody should become vegetarian, but I could see the harm that was causing to animals, and because I'm able to put myself in the shoes of everything, because everything is part of me, I realised I didn't want to be part of that karmic cycle anymore. So there's many different steps in becoming harmless, but you have to kind of reach a point where you do everything in your power to not harm anything or anyone ever again. Karma is a real thing. It's not just the law of cause and effect. Like, there is the law of cause and effect as well, but karma, I believe karma goes beyond that. I believe karma is part of our evolution process, and it comes back exactly the same as what we give out. Because if it didn't, it would be kind of like a cheat code of reality. Like, if it didn't work like that, the world wouldn't work properly. Okay, it just wouldn't work. Like, if there was a cheat where you could bypass karma, humans would probably have destroyed themselves by now. And I know, like, guys, you'd probably be thinking, like, what about these rich elites who are controlling the masses and using greed to like control us and manipulating us just to make things for themselves? But like, we don't see their lives. Like, their lives are probably miserable. Okay, there's a lot of bad things happen to them as well. The money doesn't bring them happiness. And if you are like one of the elites listening to this, which you're probably not, because you're not on a level where you can like kind of contemplate things like this yet, but one day you might. Like, if you are listening to this video, then think about that as well, because no matter what you do, you're not going to become happy by manipulating people, because that's not harmlessness. You have to become fully harmless before you yourself can achieve pure joy. And it's not necessarily the fact that you need money to have joy. Like, you don't need money to have joy, because when you're joyful, money comes to you anyway. Like, everything you need just comes to you. Money helps. It helps you be safe. It helps you do some things that you wouldn't be able to do without the money. But ultimately, everything you get with that money, like, it's just gone eventually anyway, because you just get bored of it. No matter what happens, what you get, the novelty wears down, and then you're just bored again. So it's like a never-ending cycle of materialistic things. So I believe that, based on my experience, and I've been studying spiritual knowledge and the laws of the universe now for over 10 years, and just sitting back as an extreme introvert, just watching people, feeling other people's feelings, putting myself in other people's shoes, experiencing things myself. I'm 99.9% sure that all these laws are here for a reason, and everything is ultimately balanced. And you don't get away with anything. And every bit of suffering you have, you'll just basically, it'll propel you into joy. And without the suffering, you kind of reach levels of joy, because you can't learn. The suffering teaches us. And ultimately, that's all I want to say in this video, guys. So leave a comment, tell us what you think.